So thank you for having me here today. It's an honor to meet you. I'm Mari.
Nice to see you. Thanks for coming. I'm Caroline.
Thank you. How may I call you?
Caroline, that's good.
Oh, really? Okay.
Sure.
Thank you. So, well, first of all, congratulations on the launch of this Broader View project.
Well,
it started.
Thank you for participating. We're so happy to have lots of different people who all, agreed to participate because I think they had a great time in the United States and they wanted to share that experience with other people who might be considering whether or not, might be afraid to go.
I heard that it was your idea to start this project.
Well, during my time in Japan, I've met so many people who tell me that studying in the United States changed their life and that they came back to Japan and were able to pursue their dream or start a company or become an artist or do scientific research, and they wouldn't have had the courage or the imagination to do it if they hadn't gone abroad. And so it just seemed to me that that was a message that younger people should hear because we really need more people, more Japanese to go to the US and more young Americans to come study in Japan. And from my experience, I've had such an incredible time in this country that I feel like that's something that I want to share with Americans. So I'm working to encourage Americans to come here, and I also want to encourage young Japanese to go to the US.
And including myself.
I know, well you did, right? So thank you.
I went to Boston and I studied at Emerson College. So.
Oh great. Well, going to school in Boston is really, I think, the most fun thing you can do. So
it's a beautiful city too. Lots of colleges, lots of schools,
lots of colleges,
lots of students, and very exciting arts and entertainment and sports. And
exactly. Baseball, football.
Well, you're familiar with Boston.
Yeah, I went to college in Boston too. So, so I'm speaking from experience, but and I think now it's even more international than it was when I was in school. So I think that people who are afraid that there won't be anyone from my country or shouldn't feel that way because the whole world is in Boston or certainly in the United States. So I think you can always make friends.
I made lifelong friends, actually.
Oh, good.
And I actually had a crush on a boy. And I went to my friend's party and I saw him. But then the next moment I saw him kissing another boy.
Oh no.
So he turned out not liking girls, but boys.
Okay, well that's good, but not for you maybe.
Not for me romantically, but instead we became really great friends.
Oh, that's great.
We went shopping together and we did boy watching together and we still keep in touch.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Well, when I got to Japan, the vice foreign minister told me that he had been at a party that I was at when we were in college.
Really?
Yes, but he was afraid to ask me to dance.
Oh,
so now we met so many years later, so you never know.
Do you remember?
No.
So you never know who
You never know. You
and
never know when your paths are going to cross again.
And you meet so many different people from different cultures, different backgrounds. So that again would actually, it would broaden your perspective. So how are you choosing the interviewees?
Well, some of at the beginning there were people that I had met during the course of my travels here, and then we've been reaching out to other people that we hear about, and we wanted to really show the variety of things that you can do in the United States. So we have Nobel Prize winners who are very eminent and older, and then we have you, and we have Project Taro who are studying hip hop dance in New York. And pretty much everyone in between, people who have, pursuing film or acting here back in Japan, or people who have started businesses like Mikitani-san. So there's really a range, and it's, there's everyone doing every kind of thing, just like they are in Japan, but I think it gives them freedom to try it in a different way, maybe make mistakes, learn from the mistakes. And I think that people find that kind of freedom really
so many
exhilarating.
Different types of people.
Right, and we have so many different kinds of schools in the U.S. We have small, liberal arts schools that are out in the countryside. If you're not ready for a big city, we have, New York, Boston, Los Angeles, whatever, if you want to go to an urban environment. So depending on what you're interested in or what kind of person you are, I think you can find, you know, and many places that would suit you.
And what I thought was great was that you could change your major as you go along your studying course.
I think that's more difficult here in Japan.
Yeah,
right?
it's typical when people decide their major, they usually stick with it and graduate with that. But in the United States, a lot of people change majors, or they get double major as well, take minor classes. They can minor in if you're interested in some courses. So
my son, for example, was after I became appointed as the ambassador, he minored in Japanese history. So, so you're right. You can add and change a little bit if you,
Yeah, I started off studying marketing communications, but I also minored in psychology as well.
Oh, okay. Well, they're kind of connected.
They're very interesting.
Yeah, I bet.
When you communicate with people from different culture or different background, what did you take into account?
Well, I think a lot of it is observation and listening.
Listening, yes.
Listening and just seeing, you know, you just get interested in how other people approach something that, you know, you thought your way was the way that everybody did it. And I think I remember, I've had that experience more now than I remember. I'm sure I had it then, but coming to Japan, there are many, many small things that people do here that we do differently in the U.S. And
for example, what do you
I'm just
remember?
thinking, just the way meetings are organized, or the way people walk down the street, or you know, little things. There's no right way, but there's two different ways. So it just makes it, you know, so much more fun every day to see how people are going to do things that are new and different that I didn't think of.
You just have to observe and see and enjoy it, and adapt in your way, in your own way.
Right, you can pick and choose which ones you know you feel like are best for you. But I think listening is important. I think, you know, being open to people, not being afraid to ask for help. I mean, those are all good things to do at home too. But when you're in a new place, you know, you need to do it more.
Being brave.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we're all brave underneath. It's just sometimes you don't feel like trying.
So how is this project important to you as an ambassador?
Well, I think, you know, most importantly is, I think, just the belief that this changes individual lives. But now that I'm an ambassador, I also think about sort of America and Japan. And I think the thing that has most struck me since I came here was how deep the ties are between our two countries. But especially in the U.S. lately, I think that people don't really understand how important this relationship is. And Japan and the U.S. are really the best of friends, and that's been built over generations of people going back and forth, learning from each other, studying in each other's countries, then working together in business or science. And so for the future, if we want to keep all these benefits and blessings that we're so lucky to have right now that come from those efforts of our parents and grandparents, we also need to keep that tradition going. And so we really need our students to have spent time in each other's countries so that they can work together in the future on the challenges, whether it's problems that we face around the world. Japan and the U.S. work together in combating, you know, healthcare crises and global diseases. We work together in outer space. Our astronauts are planning to go to Mars together. We do, you know, incredible artistic and cultural exchanges. We do basic science. So there's so much opportunity for kids who have spent time in both places. Then I think that it's only going to grow. And so I think President Obama and Prime Minister Abe set this goal because they realized that this is really important to our national future of both our countries. As leaders, they're looking at this. And so how do we make sure that kids will continue this tradition? So as ambassador, it's my job to help us try to meet the goal of doubling the numbers by 2020. And we have Prime Minister Abe participated in a broader view. So I know that when he was a student in California, he lived in rented a room with a woman who cooked Italian food, and he'd never had that before. And he listened to Carole King and the Beach Boys and all that. So it just shows you that you never know what's going to happen in your life. And then I was there when he went back to California, and they gave him a jacket from USC where he had been as a student. And I think he was so like happy that to come full circle. And I think for all the kids there, that was a great moment too. I think that hearing from people who have done it and had a great time is really one of the best ways to encourage more people to do it. So that's what this project is all about.
And to better our understandings.
Right, right. And I mean, there's so many issues that we need to work together on. So, you know, if you've got those friendships, like you said, you stay in touch, and then you might work together in the future, and you'll do a better job.
Well, I hope this project broadens a lot of people's views.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I hope so. So. Yeah, so if people hopefully will see this interview and then, you know, try to, you know, figure out how to come to the U.S.
Well, thank you so much today.
Thank you.